Welcome back to C++ sessions. Last session we have discussed about what are the major limitations of C programming language and what is the need of C++. Today we are going to write our first C++ program. Before we are writing our first C++ program, we can write a small C program and we can try to translate a small C program into our first C++ program. We can try to analyze a small C program. I have a C program here. The first line of this program is a multi-line comment in C program. The line number, this is a multi-line comment. Second one, there is a something for preprocessor. I am including some header file. These header files are handled by preprocessor. Next one, I have a function. The name of the function is main, and which is taking no argument, and return type is void. Now I have a variable inside my function. I have declared a variable inside my function, that is int I. Since this variable is inside the main, I is getting memory inside the stack memory segment of this program. Now we have a scanf function. This scanf function is used to collect something from the user. Or if our user is typing something on the console, or user is typing something in the keyboard, this is getting this value which is getting into I. Now I have a printf function. This printf function is used to print something into the monitor or print something into the console. Now user is entering something, or user is entering something. This value which is collected over I, then we are just printing this value. This is our first C program. Now I am translating this C program into a C++ program. In C we have used a multi-line comment, but in C++ you can use multi-line comment as well as we have a new way of comments. Since C++ have reverse compatibility towards C, you can write or you can use C program in C++ also, which will work. But in addition to this multi-line comment, we have single line comment in C++. I am going to rewrite this program. My first C++ for program. I will complete this translation. I will explain line by line. Here, third line. Next line. I am declaring variable int I. Now I am counting. This is my first C++ program. For example, here I am putting some new line character here. Now we can try to translate our first C program into first C++ program. In C program we are using multi-line comment, but in C++ program we are using single line comment. But in C++ you can use multi-line comment also. Second one, here I am writing some inclusion. Hash includes standard input output library. But in C++ we have to use hash include IOStream library. Here we are using some .h. But in C++ program we are not using any .h tag. This is another difference. This is the first difference. This is the second difference. Third line, here I am introducing some new line, that is using namespace std. We will explain this namespace in our following sessions. As of now, we don't know what is this standard namespace. We are going to explain in our future sections. This time, okay, we will study this one in later. Next one. In C program language, you have a possibility to write a return type of the main as void. But in C++, return type of the main is always integer data type. Here I am declaring one variable here, which is int I. I have the same variable here. Since this variable is inside our this main, this variable is getting memory inside stack memory segment. In C, we are using scanf function for collecting something from the user, or for collecting some value from the user. But in C++, we have an object. Here we are using a function for collecting something from the user. Here we are using an object. The name of this object is cin. Along with this cin object, we are using an operator. The name of this operator is extraction operator. You can use this extraction operator along with this cin object, then you can collect something from the user. This cin object, which is connected to your keyboard. Now whatever you are typing into this one, with the help of this extraction operator, which is getting collected to this variable. Now in C programming language, we have a printf for printing something over the monitor. But in C++, we have an object for printing something into the monitor. This out is connected to the monitor or console. Whatever the value you are putting into this cout, which is getting displayed over the monitor. Here there is another operator. The name of this operator is insertion operator. Here we are using a printf function for printing something. Here instead of printf function, we are using cout object along with insertion operator. Now I am simply putting this I into this cout. This cout is getting, or this value which is getting displayed over the monitor. This I also which is getting displayed over the monitor. Now here you have a new line character, that is /n. Now instead of this /n new line character, you have a new object. This will act as a new line character in C++ program. Here I don't want to return anything since return type is void. Here I am returning 0 because the return type is integer. Now quickly we can compare the difference between our first C and C++ program. Here we are using multi-line comment. Instead of multi-line comment, in C++ we are using single line comment. Here my header file name is standard input type output, but here instead of that header file we have another header file, that is input output string. Now we will study this one later. Here I have a function in C programming language. Here instead of a function we have objects for collecting something from the user. Now in C programming language I have a printf for printing something over the monitor. But here instead of the printf you have a cout object which is used for printing something over the monitor. Now I introduced, or in C++ they introduced some operator along with the cin object. This is extraction operator. With the help of this extraction operator, it is possible to extract some value from the keyboard and you can put into a variable. Again, along with the cout, we have another operator, that is insertion operator. It is possible to insert something into this object. This is getting displayed over the monitor. Here you have to put the data type, but here you don't want to put any data type. This data type is automatically identified by this object. Here I am using some string data type, that is got identified by the object. Again I am using an integer data type, that also getting displayed over the monitor. Here we have a new line character, that is /n. But in C++ we have another new line character, that is enter. These are the main difference between our first C and C++ program. This is the end of today's session. Please subscribe our channel, take it, and you will get the remaining sessions.